And I guess that's something I learned from the military as well. When you change particular aircraft, you would go through an operational conversion that would convert you onto that particular aircraft. You didn't go out and invent the systems to run that particular aircraft. They'd already been developed and documented, and you were then just indoctrinated into the operational system for that particular platform. Same with pure bookkeeping. You need to embrace the systems that Deb and Pete put together, which are just simply fantastic from a quality control point of view. Embrace those and move with the system.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be a fantastic one. Our guest is the director of Nailing Your Finances, which is an Australian-based firm that provides remote and on-site bookkeeping services to a wide range of sectors. He's also a Pure Bookkeeping licensee. Ben Kelly, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning to you. And we're having this conversation on just about complete opposites of our planet. Tell us a little bit about where you are right now, Ben.
Well, I live in the far north of Australia, so at a place called Pyramon, which is just west of Cairns, which some people would know. It's got a little slogan called "Where the rainforest meets the reef." So we've got some of the oldest rainforest in the world here in the Daintree, and also the Great Barrier Reef. So that's all within about an hour and a half of where I am. So a beautiful part of the world. Very, very, very enjoyable place to work from.
And it sounds relatively remote.
Well, I think in today's world, nothing's really remote. As you said in the intro, we're on the opposite sides of the planet, and we can talk, we can work, and I think that's one of the best things I've found about having the pure bookkeeping system is you can virtually put it in your hip pocket and travel the world, and I've certainly worked with it. I can remember a couple of years ago, I did a couple of hours work just sitting in the terminal at Pearson, and some in Germany and some in the UK, some in Japan, and just the ability to have a system like pure bookkeeping. You can log in from anywhere in the world, do your work, and know you've got the quality control in place.
It's remarkable, and just sitting here thinking about how things have changed, constantly change, but even just a few years ago, people were, concerned about working virtually, and nowadays everybody's virtual just about. So it's it's remarkable, and you are quite an interesting fellow and have an interesting background. I'd love for you to share a little bit of your career journey leading up to this point.
Well, you can't see, but I do have grey hair, so I've been around for a few years. I originally started my career back in the finance industry, working as a computer programmer in the banking sector. And that was back in the 70s, and we helped convert the bank that I was working on from being a manual system to the first online bank in Australia. So that sort of opened my eyes up a little bit. I then moved on to a career in the military. I spent 13 years flying frontline combat aeroplanes, from long-range maritime patrol aircraft to aircraft carrier operations up in the Gulf, and then on to flying F-111s for 6 years. So I took a lot of lessons out of that. Unfortunately, I suffered a back injury on a carrier, but that taught me a lot about goal setting, I guess, and getting your dreams right. And when I eventually had to leave the military due to that injury, I moved on into the corporate world, and we ran, as part of a team, a $5.5 billion property company. And during that time, we also set up a new relocations business, which was the ability of moving people around the world and around the country for various government and private entities. And so we set that up, and we were doing about 55,000 relocations a year, which was about the sixth largest business of that type in the world at that time. And we did that over 3 years. That taught us a lot about growth, significant challenges when you're growing a business from, I think we started off with 250 staff, and within 3 years we had about 850. So you learnt the stresses of that, of growing. And then it came time to have another change of direction, and I looked for an opportunity that was more lifestyle-based. It gave you the opportunity to have plenty of flexibility as far as a work-life balance, and bookkeeping sort of just fell into that space. Now, while I didn't really have a lot of background in the bookkeeping, I guess, sort of industry, so I looked for a systems-based organisation to support us, and we picked a franchise. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and we had to fire them for non-performance because it became very apparent after a few years that they just did not have the systems or the knowledge to enable us to grow. We had a few staff on board at that point in time. And it's when you have a dream and you've got some goals and you're looking for solutions, it's amazing that paths just cross. And I was looking for a solution at that point in time, and that's where I met Deb and Pete. I think that was probably 11 years ago. And I remember Deb giving me all the information about pure bookkeeping, and I took it back to the office with the girls and we ripped it to pieces and couldn't fault it. Really just couldn't fault it. It was exactly what we should have had from day one. And we'd been trying to develop our own system. And so pure bookkeeping just sort of fell into our laps, and it's been a godsend. So that's sort of the history in a nutshell.
Wow, what a journey! I'm sitting here thinking, how many lifetimes was that? With all everything you've done there, like,
well, I keep referring to it as a previous life. So you take the lessons,
previous couple lives,
you move on.
Say. Previous couple lives. Well, definitely an interesting background, as I said, and remarkable. And I'm sure you bring many of the experiences from all those different diverse backgrounds into your bookkeeping business. And it's one of the reasons, or one of the things I love about the pure bookkeeping community is it's global. And the fact that we're having this conversation and hear your story is always a treat. You met Deb and Pete, the co-founders of Pure Bookkeeping, literally at the time that Pure Bookkeeping became Pure Bookkeeping. So you were one of very early licensees into the system, and it has worked for you. But lots has changed in the industry. I mean, back then in 2010, 2011, you were likely not talking about remote bookkeeping. What's that been like for you, seeing the changes over these last almost decade?
Oh, look, it's been exciting. I think if things don't stay static, and so you've got to be prepared to change. And I think, it's that old saying, if people that aren't prepared to change soon wilt. It's been exciting. It's one of the things, though, that I learned is you don't rush those things. There's new stuff coming out every day. And one of the things that I find is that a lot of people want to take on every single thing that's coming out. You've only got to look at Apple and the iPhone. Every time there's a new iPhone out, the technos are lined up outside the store to get the latest iPhone, whereas we still have clients that have flip phones. Can they still communicate? Yeah, probably they can't do as much with a flip phone as they can with a smartphone, but they're still functioning. So it's a matter of, I guess, looking at the balance between new stuff that's coming on and what's working for you. And I think that goes back to understanding the model that you've got in place for your business. We have two words. Your model needs to be simple, but it needs to be robust as well.
Mm-hmm. And building a system-driven business, you have a military background. I'm sure you were very familiar with systems and protocols and process. What was it like for your staff to be able to adopt these types of systems?
Well, I guess we didn't. Well, it's a good question. I don't think we really had the challenge of adopting because we were looking, so we were ready. It wasn't really thrust on us. It was something that we chased and we wanted to embrace. So actually bringing it on was relatively simple. But I do remember having, we also had contractors, and I found that the biggest challenge. Everybody likes to do things their own way. Whereas if it's laid out for you, why do you need to go and change it? And we used to have some robust discussions about trying to run a hybrid system. And that means part pure bookkeeping, part of your own system. It doesn't really work. And I guess that's something I learned from the military as well. When you change particular aircraft, you would go through an operational conversion that would convert you onto that particular aircraft. You didn't go out and invent the systems to run that particular aircraft. They'd already been developed and documented, and you were then just indoctrinated into the operational system for that particular platform. Same with pure bookkeeping. You need to embrace the systems that Deb and Pete put together, which are just simply fantastic from a quality control point of view. Embrace those and move with the system. There's no such thing as a perfect system, and as we've seen with pure bookkeeping, there's been changes over the years, and you just embrace those and move along.
It's really well said. I mean, a great analogy around the airplane, and I mean a very serious analogy. You're not going to try and have one foot in one airplane and another foot in another. It wouldn't go well. And so you've adopted systems. You run a system-driven business. You mentioned a little bit of the benefit of that as it being a way to know what's going on in your business, be able to have a streamlined business. And I'm trying to pull the words that you had used when you were sitting in the airport around the other side of the planet. But what have been some of the other benefits that you've seen in yourself growing your business? Interesting
that you mentioned that. I think when you embrace something like pure bookkeeping, it's going to challenge you. And again, it's accepting those challenges. It's a matter of continual reflection on what you're doing, and are you doing it in the right fashion. So there's particular things that in the pure bookkeeping, on the quality control side of things, are you trying to shortcut things, or does it force you to be patient and follow the system? Does it force you to be determined to get it right, to meet the system requirements? They're all challenges that I think that help you reflect on yourself as a person, because it's really, I quite often say that the business that we're involved in is actually a personal development journey more than anything. We don't have to worry about developing other things. We have to worry about developing ourselves and helping develop the people that are around us, and that includes our clients. And certainly that's one thing that we've got feedback on over the years, is how our clients' thinking has changed because of what we've adopted through pure bookkeeping and then transferred to our clients. And they've certainly been most appreciative of it. And I look back, and every client that we've taken on with pure bookkeeping since we started is still with us. So I think that's a testament to the system again.
It's remarkable. Remarkable. In terms of your own business journey, you started this business, you went out right away. One of the big challenges you faced was you went the franchise route, which did not go well, but then you found the systems through pure bookkeeping, and it's improved. What other challenges in growth have you had to tackle?
Communications. One of the, and that's a strong point of our business, is communication. It's certainly not a strong point, I don't think, in the industry, but customer communication is probably the biggest thing that it's forced us to focus on. People don't like being left in the dark. So we've had to make sure that our systems are bedded down, that give us enough time to communicate continually with our client base. The other things I think it's forced us to look at is the value that you bring to the marketplace, in understanding yourself, your team, your business model, and what's that delivering to the market. So that really means that you've got to be constantly on the ball looking for things that are going to improve your value because of competition out there. So it's understanding your value. So that's an internal reflection. And then that's also seeking that feedback from your clients as to, are you continuing to deliver the value to them? And again, if you do, then you'll have long-term client base. Another thing that we really, really, really emphasize is having fun. There's a book out there called The Great Game of Business. Well, life's a journey. This is a journey. If you're not having fun, then you've got to ask yourself, what are you doing? So again, it from a growth point of view, it's continually putting pressure on you to reflect on that aspect. Are you having fun in your business? Planning side, you've got systems there. Is it forcing you to plan, or are you not planning? If you want to get the most out of this business, then it's going to force you back onto the planning side of things. And we certainly encourage people to have a minimum 5-year plan. You can't really do justice to what you've got in your hands unless you've got at least a basic 5-year plan. They're not difficult to do. So they're probably some of the things that we look at. Well, I guess another one that I come across quite often as well is we hear people talking about time management, and it's certainly one thing that I don't really agree with that, never have. We focus on task management, and task management is all geared around the results that we want, the tasks that then, and the results, of course, are related to goals, but the tasks that are required to achieve those results and goals. So the tasks then drive the time. So, for instance, we teach clients and staff and that too, when they're using tools like Outlook, whatever it might be, is to open their day with either their task management or their calendar. We prefer the calendar because we teach people to drop their tasks into the calendar. And so if you bring up one of our calendars, it's always full. And it's always full with the important things. And that includes time for yourself as well. So that's really a big one that I guess it's taught us to focus on.
And have you, in regards to that, is that something that you've always done in your life? Was that something you brought into your business? I mean, thinking you've got a very long military career, I would imagine there's that structure and process and thinking that would definitely be present there. Is that something you brought?
Yes, I'd agree with that. It's probably something I originally learnt or was seeded in the computer side of things because it was such a systems-orientated environment again. But certainly in the military, very task-orientated approach. So yes, I did bring that I guess, from the military into the business side of things as well. I might mention I also owned 4 hairdressing salons at one stage as well. So had a little bit of a foray into that private sector side of work.
Wow. So you've had quite, just another layer of experience, another layer of experience in your career in terms of running small business. I really like the concept of the focus on the task, focus on the outcome, fill your calendar with important things, because it is something that we hear all the time: overwhelm, time management. How do I get it all done? And this is something that you foster inside of your business, not only for your staff, but as well you're bringing that to your clients.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes also back to the model. Time management, is something that I guess we as humans have developed that concept of time, or trying to measure time and control time, which we don't really do. I think the pressure that a lot of people feel is because their model is probably maybe a little bit too complex, rather than keeping something nice and simple. If you've got a simple model and it's well built, and then you know the tasks that you're going to use to drive that model to achieve your results, then if you concentrate on the tasks, it's completing the tasks. I think people get frustrated when they're unable to complete the tasks, and that's then dragged into this time management sphere. The tasks, we have the pure bookkeeping system there that gives us a very clear indication that the tasks are required to be completed. You then just need to learn in your own business model what time it's going to take to achieve those tasks. But failure to complete the tasks is the thing that causes the stress.
Very good point. And, if I'm having a frustrating day, that's exactly what it is. I don't feel that I've made progress on the things that are important. And so if we figure out what we want to get done in a day and make sure we've scheduled the time to do that, there's more likely that it'll be a good day. And we can walk away and complete the day and say, got stuff done that I wanted to get done.
Yeah, very, very important.
Now, we talked a little bit about challenges and some of the things that you deal with and have tackled. What about things that you are accomplishments or milestones in your business that you're proud of along your journey?
Well, good question. I guess I don't look so much. I'm not an awards-orientated person or anything like that. It's more a personal satisfaction and a client satisfaction. So, we've won awards. We certainly did in the franchise area. We won state franchise of the year, regional franchise of the year, and they're all nice and good. They make good paperweights, but they don't really do much for me per se. They're great for the team. It's a recognition of that. And certainly people do need the recognition. So I guess more so than the recognition of oneself, it would be more a recognition of the systems and the operation and the people that you have in place that are helping clients. And so that's a good thing, getting on top of the system. Now, I don't proclaim to ever be on top of the system, and that includes the pure bookkeeping system. There's constant involvement, but I guess it's an acceptance that you're doing the best you can when you can tick a lot of the boxes each day, not necessarily every box. And so it's that continual journey, I guess, of self-improvement. One of the things that I guess I've seen people challenged with over the years is trying to come out with some sort of definition of success. And to me, probably a good definition of success would be the continual pursuit and achievement of realistic and worthwhile goals, and they're going to change. So again, that comes back to this journey. It's that continual pursuit and achievement of some worthwhile goals. So I guess that's probably one of the biggest things that's benefited us.
It's not surprising that you've won awards when that's your focus. You're focusing on building a business that you can be proud of, your staff can be proud of, and that your clients are fully satisfied with. And for you, that is success. And so it's refreshing to hear. I'm curious what the future looks like for you and your firm. What do you see on the horizon?
More fun.
Aha!
As I said, well, you've got to have fun. I've said right from the start. So one of the things is I'll probably move, and I'm certainly in the process of doing that at the moment, more on the consulting side of educating people. I find, and again, this is development of your own model and your own goals, is that if you're tied to compliance sort of work, that sort of date fixes you, and that can cause, depending on where you are at your business, that can bring in a certain amount of stress as well. At the moment, we do more and more consulting or coaching or training, whatever word you like to use, on helping people develop their own systems in their business and transferring or helping their development from a mental point of view as to owners of a business and managers of a business. So that's where I see our business's direction at the moment.
Excellent. Helping businesses get stronger and with that, healthier. You know, Ben, this has been a real treat speaking with you. I'd love to know what fun means to you. What is it that you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Well, I like to travel. I did spend a couple of years, this is another life, when I had a bit over 2 years, I used to run remote safari tours into what's called the outback in Australia, so into the wilds, and I'd take groups of 14 people for 14 days out into the bush in Australia. So remote four-wheel driving into crocodile-infested country, that sort of thing, and we do camping tours. So that gave me more of an appreciation of the countryside, and so I still like to do that. We have a trailer, or caravan as we call them here, so I like to get out and hit the road. And again, that's one of the benefits of the pure bookkeeping system. In fact, earlier this morning, before I jumped on with you, Mike, I was just planning a 6-week journey through the outback for starting in April next year, so I'll go for 6 weeks. So part of that planning will be to what are the areas that I haven't seen or experienced, and who is out there that we might be able to help along that route. And I guess the areas too that from a scenic point of view, which would be worth to see. So that I enjoy that as fun. I don't do much flying these days. I haven't flown for a couple of years. Wouldn't mind doing a little bit more of that. I like to work on family projects. So at the moment, I'm just putting together photo albums for all our kids. So instead of just having one photo album that's sitting around the house, I'm doing a digital project so that everyone's got a copy of photos from their childhood and things like that. So those things are quite enjoyable. Yeah.
I love it, Ben. It's great to hear and always refreshing to hear. As a pure bookkeeping licensee, you've implemented, you've done the work, you have systems and process, and that's providing freedom to live life on your terms and do the things that you're passionate about and spend time with the people that you love. I mean, this is what the successful bookkeeper community is all about, building a business that you absolutely love. Ben, if people wanted to get in touch with you and learn more about with you, connect with you, heck, even go over to Australia and have coffee with you, how would they do that? What's the best way for them to find you online?
Probably, I don't do a lot of online work. I think probably our email address, which you've got there, Michael, quite happy for you to send that around, and then I can touch base with people. But we use Zoom and certainly Skype and so on. One of the things I've been very big about for new licensees, and that is trying to get them focused on support. And one of the things, again, learned through the military is cut out the noise. We used, if you're flying in a 90 aeroplane package and you've got 15 radio channels going, there's only three things you really wanted to hear, and that was your call sign, a mayday, or a weapons, and everything else you had to block out. So we advise people just personal opinion, get rid of social media. Social media is great for social media, but if it's part of your marketing tools or marketing suite, then that's fine. But we find a lot of people just have too much noise coming in. How many mentors do you have? You should have a really good mentor when you're starting off your business. You'll have a different mentor when you're growing your business. You'll have a different mentor when you're trying to exit your business. So make sure that that's very, very tight and that you're not just talking to anybody and everybody. So they're really important things. So, but yeah, if people want to have a chat, happy to have a chat anytime with anybody. I think I spoke today, maybe last time I was in Toronto, but we just didn't manage to cross paths there, but happy to have a coffee anytime. We should have been in Canada for 12 weeks just gone, but that little virus thing stopped us. So look forward to getting back over there, and certainly happy to catch up with people either in BC or Alberta or Ontario. Don't spend much time in the other places, but happy to do that as well. So give us an email and we can sort things out from there.
That's great, Ben, and I'll look forward to it. And if I get over your way, we'll have coffee there. And if you get this way, we'll do it over here, hopefully sooner than later. And of course, we'll have links to your LinkedIn and to your website, Ben, so people can connect with you. Ben, on behalf of our listeners, I want to thank you for your generosity in sharing your journey and for the work that you do. And as well, thank you for your service as a military person, someone who served your country. Thank you for that service.
Thanks, Michael. It's been a pleasure, and wish you all well.
Wish you as well, Ben. And with that, we wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.